Hello, idiots. This is the first video that has been somewhat related to the main topic of my channel in a bit. I've been struggling with stuff, and I'll make a life update video today or sometime to update you on all that shit. But for today, I'm doing a tier list video because those are fun, and it's going to be the Echo Project games because why the fuck not? These VNs, the people behind them, like, the VNs have been part of my life for 5 years now. Ever since I found Echo back in 2018 when Adastra didn't even exist. God, those were the halcyon days. I really miss that. I really miss when Echo Project was still niche and it wasn't a big thing in the fandom. And everyone didn't know about Adastra, and God, I just wish Adastra was never made, to be honest. Or I wish Halliday would have stopped being a pussy and actually wrote something compelling instead of the Disney Channel movie for adult. Anyway, I'm already getting into my opinions on this. Let's just start, and we're doing this in the order they came out. So that'll be Echo first. I don't really hold Echo in the same high regard that I used to, but if we're just keeping this, we're keeping this within the games. It's S tier. We're keeping this within the Echo Project. It is an S tier game. I genuinely do not know where I would be or what my personality or what my interests would be like if I had not found Echo back in the day, back 5 years ago. That sounds like I'm fucking ancient saying back in my day. Back in my day, Adastra didn't exist. Yeah, okay. But yeah, Echo. I remember it was a fateful day in, I think it was maybe September or October 2018. I don't remember exactly. But I was watching YouTube and I was watching Vivian Jade's channel. Back then they were Decker Link. And you know, back then they played a lot of games, and I found them via their repeat playthrough, which, man, that's a blast from the past. But then I saw they were playing other games. I'm like, Echo, what's this? That's the name of a character in repeat. And I started watching it. I'm like, this is interesting. So I shut off the video, and I go to itch.io and I see the page and I download it. There's no like content warning or anything, and thinking it's just going to be another typical dating sim with furries, you know. Naive little Callier with his preconceived notions is actually the perfect audience for this game because it is a masterful deconstruction of VN tropes. It's amazing. I'm gonna pause it to check those messages real quick, I'm sorry. Nothing important. So yeah, basically the perfect audience for this game is a person who thinks they're going to be getting a regular dating sim. I mean, yeah, the content warning that they have on the page now is kind of needed. It's kind of needed. Because some of the topics this game deals with could genuinely fuck people up. Like, for real. If they're not okay and they're not, like, mentally prepared to handle it. And I don't really think I was, considering I was fucking 16 years old at the time. You know, not 18, not old, like, whatever. But, basically, this game changed who I am as a person. I genuinely believe that, and I would not have met so many great friends that I have now if it had not been for this game. So, for that reason, it is going in S tier, because that's the only place it can go. However, now we're getting into bad territory with Adastra. I don't even think I have to explain. Well, actually, yes, I do. It's in D tier. It's okay. So I feel like I've made my opinion on this game abundantly clear in other videos, but I'm not going to be the kind of guy that assumes you've already watched my videos, because those type of people are absolute douchebags, and I'm sorry if you've ever had to deal with one. basically, my opinion on Ad Astra is it's a Disney Channel movie for adults. There's no consequences for any of the characters whatsoever. I genuinely believe that Marco, well, number one, Marco should have had characterization. As it stands, he's just a cardboard cutout that gets picked up and moved around from scene to scene. So, I mean, he needs characterization first and foremost, and good characterization, not the, oh, I have Stockholm syndrome, and I'm going to cling to this wolf daddy that I love for some reason. No, not that kind of characterization. I mean actual human characterization, like, what the fuck are my family doing? I'm gonna miss so much stuff on Earth. That they're gonna miss me. Stuff like that, you know, that would pass through any rational human being's head as they're kidnapped and taken to a different fucking world, who knows how many light years away. No, we don't get any of that characterization at all. It's a shame. But I honestly believe that Marco should have died. He should have fucking perished at the end of the game because that's a tragedy. And a lot of the stuff, a lot of the Greek and Roman stories that this game so fucking impishly ekes off of to sustain itself are tragedies and really, really good ones. So the fact that this game is not a tragedy says a lot. But other than that, the writing is so bog standard and so fucking bland and boring that going back to do this game for my channel caused me physical just boredom. I was so bored because like this is one of those games where you can only read it once and then you can't read it again because the plot is so linear. It is ridiculous. The characters are so one-dimensional. Amicus, he's a spoiled rich boy who wants to be emperor because daddy told him he could be. Virginia, she's a spoiled rich girl who thinks she's oppressed when she lives in what is, compared to the rest of women on her planet, a absolute glorified paradise. Sure, she can't be empress or whatever the fuck, but she has more privileges than the majority of women on the planet most likely would have because she's part of the royal family. God. And then you have fucking Cassius, the only character that I think in these three that had any ounce of potential. Cause he actually genuinely cared about his people. Sure, some people will say, oh, he's just a nationalist, and nationalists are evil. Okay, he's not that bad. But yeah, he's that bad. He was ruined. Overall, this game has terrible characters. The world building is just thrown at the screen and it sticks like paint. Like, it's not even that good. It's typical sci-fi. Oh, there's a galactic empire. Oh, blah, blah. It's stupid. It's really stupid. And it's a D. Next up, in terms of release, I think was The Smoke Room. Now, The Smoke Room is pretty far along. I think we're maybe halfway through each route. I think. I don't know, however, because this game has been going on since 2019, and it's still going. So, also, yes, I am aware that there's a new Smoke Room update, but as I said, I'm dealing with shit, so I haven't really had the fucking mental capacity to do it. Do a video on it, so shut the fuck up and leave me alone. But, yeah, Smoke Room. Definite. Ooh, this one's tough. I'm gonna have to say it's A tier. Um, actually, yeah, it's A tier. In terms of characterization and in terms of like Echo, the town, and how it feels to just be there, it's really, really good. Sam, within the first fucking 30 minutes of this game, is leagues more characterized than Chase ever was. And obviously, there's a reason for that because you're not in control of Chase and Echo, you're in control of Sam. So it makes sense that in Sam's own game, it would be more characterized. Which leads me to the other stuff, the other characters. Murdoch, Cliff, William, and Nikolai. Yeah, they're all great. Sure, I have my concerns about like the the sex scenes being a little gratuitous and the fucking oh they're lifting weights because I don't know, like that scene didn't make any sense to me. Like, oh boy, they're lifting weights for some reason. Cool. But another thing that really bugs me about this, well, I don't think it's supposed to bug me, because I've been thinking about this for a while, but the majority of the sex scenes in this game have a really, really, really disturbing and creepy art style to the point where I am physically uncomfortable every single time they happen, which I feel is the point, because Sam wants to be seen as more than his body, basically. And when that does happen, the art for those scenes is much more pleasant on the eye. I think there's only like two instances of that, and that's with Nikolai in his route and with Cliff and Murdoch in Cliff's route. I think that those are the only two instances where the art actually is more pleasant to look at, and that's because Sam is actually invested in these people, and they're invested in him, and their emotions are involved. You see what I'm getting at? Part of the horror of this game is part of the horror in Sam's character, where he sees himself as just a glorified slab of meat to be used in some instances. So the fact that the art is that creepy, that disturbing in those scenes makes a lot of sense. So I guess it's not really negative, it's actually positive. But anyway, yeah. Smoke Room is an A tier, for damn sure. Next in order of release, I think, was Kamia, and we only got like I think 3 or 2 updates for this so far, and they're redoing it. But the little that we got of this was leagues better than Adastra's. I'm putting that in A. Yeah, I'm putting it in A. Um, Basically, within the first 5 minutes of this game, CPO is an actual character for one thing. So that's way better than anything Marco had going for him. CPO is amazing within like as a character. The potential for him as a character is amazing. And then you add in the fact that he was actually part of what happened. Well, not part of what happened, but was affected by what happened in Adastra, where he was attacked, where he was in the riots and he saw his fucking professor die and he has PTSD because of that. Like, that is amazing characterization. It actually fits into Adastra and makes it more well-rounded. Well, retroactively, when you actually play Adastra, it's not. Retroactively, when you read Kamia, it becomes a lot more balanced and well-rounded because other people exist and they're having different experiences in this world. Which honestly, I wish we got that in Adastra, just experiences from the common people or something in during those riots, because that would have been so like anything for consequence to exist, you know? And then of course with Neferu, Neferu's an actual character in this one, which is genuinely amazing. Because Neferu was the best character in terms of characterization in Adastra, so for him to get even stronger in Kamia is amazing. And then the entire plot line of this, them going to Kamia to try and integrate them into the Galaxias and all that, that's also really great. And the little interaction that CPO had with the other, yeah, on the ship, oh my god, that was so fucking, that's, oh, if that goes where I think it's going, then he's like, I really want him to be an anti-hero or a straight up villain. That would be so fucking cool. But yeah. Next up, I think, is Arches. Now, I can say this because Arches is now finally complete and it's all done. The story is over. All that they're doing is adding polish and writing stuff, you know, like they're adding like stuff to make it better. They're not adding any story. But yeah, now that Arches is over, I can say that Arches is an S tier along with Echo, because I honestly believe that Arches is Howley's best story yet. The writing is so good. Characterization is amazing. The scares, well, the scares in this aren't from the paranormal so much as they are from people, and I love that. And I know I had misgivings about the whole Cameron being a psychic thing and it being used as Deus Ex Machina to get out of there, and I was proven wrong. I will admit I was proven wrong. Like overall, the overall message of this VN is don't take life for granted and don't fixate on death, which is an amazing message. So that alone is great. I will admit that seeing Brian die like that in the mine from a heart attack, that makes a lot of sense for his character, and I'm glad they went that route instead of some big climactic clash. That would have been fucking cheesy. But yeah, Arches is really good. I think you're noticing something. The three completed games, Adastra, Echo, and Arches, two of them are in S tier, the other is in D tier. Yeah, I'm pretty sure what came out next was Glory Hounds. Now, Glory Hounds is extremely different compared to everything else that came before, but I honestly think it's really good. It's S tier. It is. It's S tier, even with like only two updates. The sprite work is fucking beautiful. The characters are actually pretty good for what is supposed to be a superhero comic. Um, I just wish there wasn't so much focus on, ooh, that character is so buff, oh boy. I fucking wish that wasn't a fucking thing, but whatever. Um, but yeah, the fact that it takes place technically in the Echoverse as well, but in Batavia, I love that. Because that means that when Dutch words come up on screen, I can showcase my linguistic talents and shout down at the heathens because yeah, that's a fun. I didn't. I'm just being ironic, but basically, yeah, Glory Hounds is their most polished game yet. It's the art's great, the music's great, the animation is great. I just wish I didn't have to turn off it because it messes up the recording. And I'm eagerly awaiting the next update for this because it's really good so far. A role to play. Yeah, you're a B. That's a B. Um, I don't so much like the story for this one so far. It's kind of cool to see just a main character that is disabled. Like I don't think that happens a lot in VNs where they like he's literally in a wheelchair. So I mean, that's cool, I guess. It's funny. Ezra was in Ezra can't walk. Yeah. But yeah, this game is basically just D&D, the visual novel, and I don't like D&D very much. So it's not really that appealing to me. Plus, there's only one update, but from the update we got, it's looking like it might have potential, but I don't know. So yeah, B tier. And that's all of them. Well, except for the for Route 65, but that wasn't on here. So, yeah. S tier, Echo, Arches, and Glory Hounds. A tier, Smoke Room and Camia. B tier, A Role to Play, and D tier, Astra. Um, yeah, thanks for watching, fuckers. I hope you enjoyed this video or some shit. Bye. Fuck off now. See ya.